Hello and welcome to my desktop. I am Shay Jones Thompson, and this is Axe OS Live. That's what I'm calling it right now. Basically, this is a program that will allow you to tweak the settings of your Axe OS based miners. So it was built for BitAxe Gamma, but it does work on NerdAxe, works on the LVO7. I don't know. Many other devices that are based on the Axe OS. However, not all of the information is available if it's a more closed source. That all being said, if you got my app, you put everything in its respective folders. You launch your command prompt. Python bitaxe underscore live.py is what I have right now because that's what it was called. I'm going to change the name soon. When it launches, you will be presented with an initial screen that loads everything up. I already have a NerdAxe loaded in here, currently running at 379, but we haven't done any tweaking yet too much. That all being said, if you are here and it's your first time, this won't be here. You will come to the menu. We have a refresh button. We have the view edit global data. This is where all of the information is kept for the rules for how this program works. It is the default. Per miner, you can override some of these. So your API timeout for API calls to miners. If you set this higher, it will wait longer before it decides it's going to give up. Monitor pull interval, how often to refresh miner data. So the higher this is set, the slower it'll seem that it is working. The lower that this is set, the faster that it refreshes the information you see. Celsius versus Fahrenheit, just for those people that are on Fahrenheit. Global auto tuning settings. So you can enable a daily miner reset if that's something that you need for some reason. So you set the time of the day, hour, a minute, boop, and it'll reset it. Enable flatline detection. So this is after 5 cycles. So that's 5 cycles times how many seconds? 5. It will go, oh man, the voltage is not making the hash rate go up. I'm going to increase the frequency. Low hash rate threshold. So if it drops below this value, the voltage frequency will be increased. Voltage stuck check cycles. So this is that, just as I was saying. So we'll keep that there. Hash rate increase tolerance. So this is what the program considers a successful voltage frequency increase if it's gone up 0.1 gigahashes. I have it set like this. You can change this setting to see what other things it can do for you. And then I introduced a hard max frequency. Let's make sure that this guy doesn't go over a certain max as far as it goes. All right. So I am holding a small microphone in my hand, and I am recording the audio on another device so that hopefully, versus the last one, you can hear me. Okay, we've got default temperature auto tuning parameters. So a target temperature, this is what the auto tuner will aim to keep the core temp at. This is how often it checks for that temperature, every 30 seconds. This is the temperature frequency step down for the millivolts, your voltage, and the temp frequency step up, millivolts. The tolerance, so give it a bit of leeway. This one has about 1 degree tolerance. So your voltage regulator monitor, this is again another good thing to have set up. I have put in some pretty low defaults here. You can come in here and adjust these settings for your miners if you like. Remember, this is the global rule, so all miners are affected by this. That's why I included the option to edit your miner. Right? So you give yourself a color option, helps you, you can name them, helps you, keep them separated. This is just display values. So these little bars that go up and down, if you want them to appear greener or redder, you change this value, basically. Um, all that the color coding was that green was in the threshold of low where you set things. The yellow meant that it was at its peak or near its peak, and red was it's at its peak or above. Fan setting, you can manually override, set your setting. This doesn't seem to work for the Nerd Axe. I'm not sure why, but it definitely does work for the Gamma. And we do have an open web UI, so you can open the AxeOS straight from there. I'm not sure why this is doubling up. I'm going to have to look into that. And then you save your miner config and you click begin tuning, and it will attempt to increase the voltage and the frequency until the temperature hits about 60 degrees Celsius, 61, and then it's going to drop it a little bit and or just hold it there depending on what it thinks. There is some things running in the background that try and determine the best settings over time and tries to keep the miner at those best settings. What else do we have in here? So let's add a new miner as if we were doing it. That's the window you get. You put in your local miner address, right? And then you can find this usually on the Gamma or on your Axe. It will display this right on the screen. I know mine off by heart now. I'm sure some of you do too. Let's give this guy a nice purple today. Boop. And I like to go max out of that because I've never seen it really get even higher than that. We're going to make sure that this is set to 85. And Bob's your uncle. And now you have your Gamma loaded up. Look at that, eh? Purple's a nice color. All right. This one, boop, boop, boop. We want to make sure auto tuning is not enabled just because I have another program running on it right now. Basically this, but on a small display, on the cheap yellow display. So other things that are in here, we do have now a view history. So you will get a nice little graph. You will get these sharp lines if it's been offline, but it gives you approximately the hash rate and temperature at certain times. And we can close that one out. Let's look at the history there. Oh yeah, nice. Sitting up there at 50 and slowly hashing down low. Anyways, average is exactly that. How many miners do you have? There you get an average hash rate. And this is the same with the temperature, and the average efficiency gives you an idea overall how things are going. Total power and total hash rate are the actual total hash rates and powers that are reported back out of everything. Activity logs dumbed down and gives you a bit of information, but you can view 1,000 lines of it here. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of info. Open log folder is now a local data folder. So you can see now that it's kept right here beside the app in its own folder. Just wanted to do that, make easier access to those files if they are needed for whatever reason. Not sure if you've noticed during this, there is an animation that's popping up here in the top right. That is your shares getting accepted. And then, of course, there is a shares rejected. You'll notice that my Nerd Miner has recently reset and has now only gotten 14 shares. I don't know what happened there, but it does this from time to time, especially when I change the frequency. It's odd. That all being said, new logo. Wanted to make sure I kind of split away from trying to use just the Bidax font or those kinds of things. I come with my own kind of logo for this app because it is a little bit more robust. I mean, if you want to sit on the actual miner itself, see, you can see it went offline, boom, back online. If you want to, spend the time on the AxOS UI and adjust settings as you go, that's great. I made this because I wanted the temperature to be controlled. Mainly because I have a wife that likes to turn things off, like the AC, or move fans on me. I've got 2 kids as well, and it's in the corner here on my desk. So the heat goes up and down pretty quickly if I'm not here, and then I would fry my miners because I like to overclock things. I like to get the best hash rate I can, and this allows me to do that. It really does. It does take a bit to get working. It does take a bit to play with the settings and understand your miner. They are all a bit different. However, once you get your settings down, this thing just runs like a charm. I do hope that you enjoy this application. I hope you enjoy the updates. And I'm serious, guys. Buy me a coffee. I need coffee. Keeps me going. Keeps this app going. Even if it's $1. It really does make a difference to me. Calling this AxOS Live. My name is Shay Jones Thompson. Hopefully you can hear me this time, and I hope that you see the million different options that you can do with this. I do like to go in per miner when I know that my NerdAx has different options, and make sure I change those options because I want this guy to run awesome. So if you see, yeah, it's opening that twice. Not sure why it's doing that. We'll figure it out. See, boom, dropped offline for some reason. Why this guy does this, I will never know. So weird. But we're back up, and 64 shares in. Expected to hit about 700. The current settings. Yeah, no, that does work. Interesting. 75%. What do we have on the other side? 70. Sort of works. All right. But yeah, no, that's not talking. I did get an update for this NerdAx recently, 131. Not sure if that's the best version in the world for this guy to be on. I built this one. I ordered the board and all the pieces, put it together. It didn't work. I was like, what's wrong? It said, oh, I don't know. You must be missing something. And I'm like, okay. And I figured out that it was the power. It should have been working, but anyway, I got it working, but it is a little finicky and weird. Like, I can't get this thing to go to 60 unless I'm at 1,000 megahertz, which apparently these can do. I didn't know that. That all being said, let's get out of there. I'm working on some other features for this. Put a toggle up here for a light and a dark, maybe. Don't know why I would, but maybe a block. You got a block. Whee! Maybe this guy spins around or something like that. Open to suggestions. Open to trying to add a few things, but this was really close to being as far as I can take it. Really. Maybe I'll put some more information in here. I am seeing now with the API being a little more open, I can add more information in there, like the chip count, like those bits of pieces. I've also thought about trying to get the Nerd Miners API and other APIs to work through this. I have had some suggestions for like the cannons and those different ones. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, this is Shay. I am the AxeOS Live proprietor. Feel free to take the script, do what you want, guys. It's free and open source. Enjoy.